All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the stream. Let me switch my screen over here. So, thank you guys for joining in. We got 14 people in the chat. Make sure you guys thumbs up this video as you guys are joining. I just want to drop a video to help some of you guys out today in your embroidery journeys, of course. Yesterday, I had to complete a project for a customer that was recommended to me. Those of you guys that follow me on Instagram, you guys probably already saw this project already. That's why I encourage you guys to follow me on Instagram. What's going on, Monica? How are you doing? If you're not following me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. A-Dubb Productions on Instagram, A-Dubb Productions on TikTok. Most of the times before I even post anything on YouTube, it's just so much simpler to record a video on my phone and post it to my Instagram stories and then post it to my Instagram timeline. So if you're not following me there, make sure you guys are following me there to get the as soon as I'm doing stuff in the moment content, right? So, oh, T-Town T-shirt says he's not in the shop. Oh yeah, I'm going to the shop. I got 50 prints to do. I got a few throwback DTG shirts to do, and that's about it. So I'm about to head over there after I get finished with this live talking to you guys. I had a few shipments to do, and I had to fulfill a few orders for embroidery stays, thread stays rather. So I had to stay here a little later than I normally would. Hello from Colorado. What's going on? Assembly Burns, how are you? Will follow now. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So Smooth Clothing says, yo, A-Dubb, what's up, man? How are you? Viewing from Arkansas. What's up, Julie? How are you? So, I asked this client where they got recommended to me from, and they told me that somebody that I guess watched the channel or somebody that knew me recommended them to me. So word of mouth is always good advertisement. And if you guys don't post your stuff, if you guys don't tell people about your businesses, you won't, I won't say you won't get any business, but it'll be more difficult for you to get business. So definitely tell people what you guys are doing, and definitely spread the word, whether it be business cards, whether it be like those 3x5 cards with your services and your contact information. Make sure you guys are advertising your business, period. As this client was recommended to me, as often a lot of clients are. So they had a bag, and the bag had like a strap. It's a luggage bag, and the bag had a strap. Why don't I show you guys this bag? I think I have a picture of it here on my way in a minute. Oh my gosh, I gotta tell this person, hold on, be there at 3, if that's not there yet. People like on their way to the studio in a minute. Oh my gosh, I'm not there yet. But anyway, I want to show you guys a picture of this bag that this client wanted me to do. Do I have a picture of the bag? I do, in the email. Okay. So the bag, Coach-Ree. The bag, it was like a luggage bag, and it had like a strap. The strap that you put your pull bag onto, and it was very hard to embroider area, and I couldn't guarantee the client that I can do it until I actually saw the bag. Here it is right here. Okay, so let me show you guys. All right, so this is a picture of the bag right here, and she circled the area where she wanted me to embroider on. And as you guys can see, if somebody gives you a picture like that, there's like no way for you to even tell if you can embroider on that, right or wrong, in the comments, because it looks like it might be a flap, but then you see the zipper at the bottom, which means it could be a pocket. I don't know, but they told me just by looking at the picture, it appeared that it was a piece of luggage that your pull bag slides into that area. So me having that information, I knew that there was some type of clearance, but still, depending on your machine, because some machines, the arm part has to go through that area, and it has to have clearance to move that substrate or that piece of clothing or whatever it is back and forth so you can embroider something on it, right? And most people want like the name or whatever they're embroidering fully across the whole area. So you know that's not possible because the closer you get to the seams, the smaller it gets, right? So you got to use the creativity when embroidering on certain items. It gets a little bit tricky. So in the comments, I want you guys to answer this question for me. What is the weirdest thing that you guys have had to embroider on? In the comments, what's the weirdest, most difficult thing that you guys have had to embroider on? T-Town T-shirt says, just had a big shirt event yesterday. Went and sold T-shirts at a wrestling tournament. That is amazing because T-Town T-shirts does a lot of sublimation stuff. So that's amazing. Congratulations. I hope you sold a ton of stuff at that event. But what is the weirdest thing that you guys have had to embroider on and has been successful at it? And how were you successful at it? What device did you use? So when embroidering on hard to reach areas, we all know that the king, when you think of devices, everybody thinks of Mighty Hoops, right? But as far as Mighty Hoops is concerned, I don't want to say they're limited because they have a bunch of stuff. Mighty Hoops is a great solution for everything, right? But sometimes you need something a little bit more versatile, right? So let's look at Mighty Hoop for a second. All right, let's look at Mighty Hoop for a second. All right, so Mighty Hoop, by the way, they redid their website. Shout out to Mighty Hoop. So they got a bunch of stuff on here. If you scroll down, what I like that they did with their website right now is you can scroll down and you can actually pick your machine, and it has right there in the little quotation marks, it has all the hoops that they make that fits on your device. So that's really, really convenient. All right, so if I scroll down, Racoma used to be bunched up in the Chinese machines, but now Racoma has their own section, which is dope. Racoma EM1010 has their own section. So there's 42 options for Racoma. Let's see who else has that many options. 42. Happy has 42 options. Racoma 42. Oh, Tajima has 45 options. Brother has 42. Okay, so that's pretty much the standard. All right, so if you click on Racoma, all right, you get to see all of the different options that they have. That's how simple it is to pick and see what hoop options you have for embroidering on those hard to reach areas. But I will say, right, for my specific situation, it wasn't that simple. It wasn't that simple because if you look at this item right here, the problem with using a Mighty Hoop with that item is the big plastic magnetic bottom part has to go underneath and the top part has to click on the top. So I'm thinking in my head, between the Mighty Hoop and sliding it into the embroidery arm, it won't have that much to move around and I won't be able to embroider on it. So immediately I'm thinking, okay, 8-in-1. I can use the 8-in-1, right? So you guys know what the 8-in-1 is? You guys know what the 8-in-1 is in the comments? Do you guys know what the 8-in-1 is? Embroidering on felt cover for the bumps for a boat. Interesting. Okay. That's another 4-piece G7. Okay, cool. So let me see if I can bring up an 8-in-1 for you guys. 8-in-1 device. Okay, and Racoma sells this device right here. These are all equipment that you guys definitely need to have in your arsenal because the one thing that you don't want to do, right, and this is honest God truth, the one thing I think we can all agree on is when it's time to do a job, how easy you can fulfill that order will depend on if you have the right equipment to do it. Because oftentimes we try to jerry rig stuff and we try to like figure out how we can do something because we don't have the specific piece of equipment or the hoop to do it. So having the equipment to knock out those orders in the long run will enable you to make more money overall in your business. All right, so let me find a picture of the 8-in-1 device. And this is the most 8-in-1 device, Racoma. All right, so this thing right here is kind of weird. It's kind of torturous looking. All right, okay, okay, this is the 8-in-1 right here. All right, so as you guys can see, it's 8 devices, right? In one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, and then you got the bracket, 8-in-1. So each one of those 8 devices can connect to that bracket. That's why they call it the 8-in-1. So you hoop that one item all the way to the left, right? All the way to the left. You put that onto your machine. I can't make it any bigger. All right, so you put that onto your machine, and any one of those 8 devices can slide onto that, and you screw down that little black metal piece, and you can use it, right? But the only problem for this specific job was with the 8-in-1, you have to use pretty much sticky tape, right? It's like, I forgot exactly the name of it, but it's like a paper type of sticky thing. So you have to take a sheet, stick it to the bottom of 8-in-1, put it on your substrate, right? If it's a t-shirt, fine. But if it's a t-shirt, you can use a Mighty Hooper or the regular hoops, right? But so you have to kind of like stick the thing at the bottom, and in the middle of the 8-in-1 device will be a piece of sticky. So that would stick to my bag. In this instance is what I was going to use it for. But I'm thinking in my head, this bag is pretty expensive, and if I use the 8-in-1, it's not that little sticky is the only support that I'm gonna get to keep that bag in place. And when the machine is moving back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, if it's a little tight, it might lose registration, right? And that's a problem, especially when you got one shot to do it. So, needless to say, the 8-in-1 was not gonna cut it. So now I'm thinking, okay, what else do I have up my sleeve? How can I do this? So I'm waiting till the bag get there. I told the customer how much I anticipated costing, but I told them there was no guarantee I was going to be able to do it because I needed to see the physical item in my hand. So they got it to me yesterday. Actually, it was the day before yesterday. And when I got it, I opened up the package and I unzipped it, and I'm like, okay, this should be enough clearance, but you never know until you're in your studio, in your element, in front of the machine, and you kind of like fit it in there. So when I walk up to my machine yesterday and I look at it and I kind of like poke it through there, I'm like, okay, well, there is enough room for it to get through there underneath the arm, but what am I going to use to secure it so that it's not moving around? So now I'm thinking, okay, I can use a robot frame, all right? Let me show you guys what the robot frame is. It's like 2 clamps, right? Robot frame. Embroidery. It's another item that Racoma sells, by the way. Okay, this is the robot frame right here. All right. Boom. Okay, so, and you guys see how expensive that is, right? But I got 2 of them actually. I won one and I bought the other one. So the robot frame is what I used when if you guys remember the video where I embroidered on Timberlands, it's like 2 arms, and it clips, and it grabs your thing, and you push down those 2 little red clips, and it clamps down hard. And I could have used that to embroider this, but the problem with that would be, why didn't I use robot frame? I'm trying to remember. Why I didn't use it. Oh yeah, I couldn't get it to embroider. I couldn't get it to clamp down and keep the item straight because I needed it straight without any droop. The robot frame was good for boots and shoes that are like really steady and still and hold still, but for that specific little strap area, it had some, not give, but it had a little bit, like when you unzip it, it had a little droop to it. So there's no way for me to clamp down a robot frame and keep it straight. So I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do now? So lo and behold, I thought to myself, you know what? I got some hoop techs. And this is why I'm telling you guys, like, even if you don't need it at the moment, it's worth it to get certain things so that when the occasion arrives for you to use it, you won't have to, you know, try to buy it real fast and get rush shipping and stuff like that. Because as you're making money, build up on the equipment that you're gonna need to make your jobs easier. You know what I mean? Like, if you get a you know, $1,500 job, okay, you pay for your blanks so you can sit that money aside. You put some money away for taxes, of course, for that sale, and then buy a piece of equipment or a piece of a hoop or something that you don't necessarily need, and just sit the rest in your business bank account. That's what I would do. You know what I mean? Or pay down a business credit card or something like that. That's what I would do. But for this instance, what I did was, I'm like, yo, I got these hoop techs. All right, so let's talk about the hoop tech real fast. All right, so boom, hoop tech. We're on Hoop Tech's website. Hoop Tech products. They got a bunch of stuff, by the way. And wait a minute. Let's see. Right here, products, clamping, slim clamp. I think I use the back of the hat clamp, bucket cap frame, back of cap clamps. I think that's what I use. Let me click on that and let's see what that looks like. I think that's what I use, guys. Don't hold me to it, but we're about to find out. All right. Yes, okay. I use this back of the hat clamp. And with this back of the hat clamp, you actually use like your hat frame. So you take off the arms of your machine and you put the hat clamp on there, because this clicks onto the hat clamp. All right. So I'm going to show you guys how good this thing held. All right. So this is a video that I have of me using it. I'm going to try to like get it so you guys can hear everything.
Embroider right there and right there. And that's about the center right there. That's the center you can get.
Crosshair.
All right, so now I'm going to hit start.
So you guys
Very
can
nervous. Slow down my machine to 700 stitches per minute just to be sure
where the center is.
And here we go.
I'm going to lower the audio a little bit on that. All right, and I'm going to tell you guys what I had to do with this also. I'm going to lower down the video. Good. Audio. All right, so what I had to do in digitizing is I had to break up the text. All right, so I could talk over it. All right, so what I had to do in digitizing so this will work is I had to, first of all, I did it one type of way, and the customer didn't exactly like it. It was like regular Arial text, and it looked clean, it looked great. Like I said, those of you guys that follow me on Instagram, you guys saw it already. It looked clean, it looked great, it came out great, but it was plain. And when I talked to my customer, the mistake that I made was I asked the customer for approval, and I don't know if I mentioned something about, do you like this font? When somebody asks you to put names on something, and they don't tell you they want a specific font, here's a hint, guys. Who can guess what I'm about to say in the comments? Don't give them options on fonts. Use regular Arial font or regular Impact. I advise you to use Arial because the letters are more pronounced. Use regular font because they didn't specify a font. So use regular font. Show them proof, ask them if it looks good, you know, to make sure that, you know, what size and stuff like that, and then do it. Don't give them options to fonts, because you're going to be there for another half an hour to another day if they're picky, and they're going to, hey, well, can I see this font? Well, can I see what it looks like this? Can I see what it... Luckily, I didn't have that problem. I kind of like put it back on her because I knew what was about to happen. What was about to happen was I was about to be there stitching out 50 different embroidery fonts to wait for her to say, okay, yeah, I like that one. So I told her, go into Microsoft. Your best bet is to go into Microsoft Word, because almost all computers come with the same standard fonts. Open up Microsoft Word, type some stuff, and find a font that you like, and you let me know what that font is. And I was working on a Mac, so I'll see if I have that font. And I digitized it in Chroma Lux. Let me see if I can open up Chroma. I don't have this computer connected to this thing, but I think I can creatively flip my camera. Okay, and here it is right here. Let me see if this will work. All right, hold on. Let me pause this video for a second. All right, so let me see something real fast. If I can do this with the use this camera right here. Will this work? If this works, this is gonna be crazy. Oh my gosh, this is gonna work. This is incredible. All right, so I'm using my cell phone. Yeah, I do all types of stuff on lives, don't I? In the comments, don't I do all types of crazy stuff on live? Yes or no? All right, so I'm using my cell phone camera right now to show you guys my computer monitor. All right, so Code Shree, this is what I did in digitizing. Let me switch to the real-time view so you guys can see. This is what we did right here. And I had to break apart the text. If you guys look over here, these are where the elements are. And I grouped it together. All right, low battery. I had to, I grouped it together. Let me ungroup it so you guys can see this break apart. And I'll tell you why I had to, oh my gosh, look, it just messed up everything. Let me Control Z. How did I do that? I grouped it and then okay, group. It's already grouped. Anyway, I had to group the text. I had to ungroup, and when you ungroup text, all right, let me see. Hold on. All right. When you ungroup text, it makes that text not editable anymore. Like you can't click on it and then type something different. And the reason why I had to ungroup the text is I had to change some elements in the way the lines are moving so that it can embroider and look better, right? Doesn't make any sense, but if you digitize, you know what I'm talking about. So when I broke it apart, in case you're looking at this video and seeing how it's embroidering some areas and then is jumping to other areas, that's because I had to break apart the text. And when you break apart the text, it like embroiders some, then embroiders the other. It's like it broke apart each letter. All right, but as you guys can see, with the back of the cap hoop, it's looking pretty darn good, right? Let me show you guys another view of this. This is me, and I'm gonna show you guys. This is a little clip that I put on Instagram right here. I mean yeah, Instagram. And that's another view of how it was embroidering, right? And let me zoom out. You guys can see I had my hand at the bottom of the bag just as a safety net, just supporting it, right? Just supporting it. But you guys can see how clean that embroidered out. So that's just an example of how, all right, now it's weird because the bag was slightly slanted, and then when I took a better picture, you guys see dead center with that X mark, and I don't even see the plus mark anymore. I guess the embroidery machine probably patted away. I don't know, but anyway, let me play the standard video for you guys. But the reason why I want to show this to you guys is because oftentimes we turn clients away because we can't embroider in certain areas. That's the toughest part. That's one of the toughest parts about embroidery. And Hoop Tech offers like all types of pocket frames and stuff like that. But even with the clamps that go inside the pocket, sometimes people will want stuff in certain areas of a pocket, and you can't get it down that deep because your embroidery arm. Now, all pockets are not the same. Some pockets are not as deep as others. Some pockets, the material is like really flat on the shirt or something like that, so you can't reach your embroidery arm because that whole embroidery arm area has to go inside of the thing, and it has to have room to move left and right and in and out to embroider whatever you're embroidering on. And if it's a little small pocket, even though you can hoop it with a pocket frame, you still might not be able to embroider on it. So there's some things I was thanking God right there after I stitched out good, because I was nervous the whole time, but it came out looking really good. Those guys, like I said, that follow me on Instagram can see on Instagram how good it came out, and I was just happy it came out good. Client's happy, I'm happy, and the good thing about it is I was in a position where I had options. So it's always good to have options, right? Um, when you're gonna get people with all types of weird ideas, and the only way that you can really embroider every single thing and not have to use a hoop is to take a garment apart. Sometimes you have no choice but to get a what do you call that thing? Uh, what do you call that thing in the comments that takes the threads apart? It's called a seam ripper, and I've done that before on items. I've seam ripped the pocket off, embroidered on a pocket, and then had to sew the pocket back on. I mean, I was talking to a client yesterday. I did a one-on-one consultation yesterday, and I told the client, like, they have one embroidery machine, and sometimes it comes to a point where if you want business, if you want your business to be successful, we often, yeah, seam ripper, we often turn down work because it's not worth us doing all that to get this $25 for the one name. But if you keep on turning down those orders, your business will not turn profit. So sometimes when you're starting off, you have to do a little bit extra to start making money, because the key is to get these machines working on a consistent basis so your business can be profitable. Sometimes you might have to do a little bit extra in the beginning because you won't have all the resources to make things more convenient for the business. So especially when you're first starting off with one machine, I told the client, I remember I told him he was trying to figure out how to organize his pricing because he only has one machine and he can't compete with the companies that have multiple machines. I told him that you're gonna have to compete. Initially, you're gonna have to bite the bullet, and you're gonna have to take jobs that take you a little bit more time to do, because unfortunately, you don't have the equipment to knock out those orders faster. So you have to bite the bullet and compete with their prices, or else you're never going to turn profit, right? So when you have one machine, you have to compete against a person that has 10 machines, 20 machines, because if not, you're going to lose the business all the time. So in the beginning, you always have to make sacrifices. In the beginning, you always have to do a little bit extra when somebody else might not have to do extra because they might have been in business longer than you, they might have more resources than you. You're always going to have to do a little bit extra in order to get to the point where you don't have to do a little extra. Everybody has to pay their dues, in other words, right? There's no like uh, fast way to accomplish success unless you're somebody who already has clients lined up before they get the machine. But even if you do, guess what? You're going to get your machine and they're going to hand you 50 hats and you're not going to have a clue about how to operate the machine. So still, you're setting yourself up for failure because it takes a certain amount of time to learn how to learn the basic functionalities of these machines so that you can take your first client. And unfortunately, like when you're first starting off, you got to do a little bit extra to earn that $15, $25, right? To earn that little extra money so you can go buy a hoop tech or go buy a mighty hoop or go buy an 8-in-1 or go buy a robot frame to make the next job that you're anticipating a little bit easier, right? So that's my advice for you guys today. All of the companies that I mentioned in this video, I'm affiliated with all of them. You know, I have no shame in asking anyone to use my affiliate link. I got, well, I didn't get into a spat. I just kind of like, um, I blocked the person because I like right now in my life, I don't have time to, for foolishness. So I'll explain to people my take on things, and then I'll just leave it at that. You know, I don't want to argue with anybody or anything like that. It's not worth my time. It doesn't make sense to me. But what does make sense to me is I told the person in the comments, it was something to the effect where they were like, um, they're, I think they're tired of me asking to use my affiliate link or something like that. Something to the effect. But I explained to the person, and I want you guys to hear this out. This is really, really important, right? This is the way the universe works. It's not my fault. I didn't make these rules up. It's just the way the universe works. Plain and simple, right? As you take, you should put. All right? So as you take, you should be putting something back, right? Every time you take something, you should be putting something back. Because if you just consistently take, and never put anything back, there'll be nothing left to take. And there'll be nothing left for anybody else to take. So in order to keep on taking, you must put back. Because if you don't put back, eventually there'll be nothing left to take, right? That's just the way the universe works, right or wrong. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? I didn't make the rules up, but you've heard the term, the more you give, the more you shall receive. Trust me, that's how the universe works, and I don't know how to explain it, but the more you give, the more you shall receive. So the silly part and the part that didn't make any sense to me is you got this person, right, that consistently watches my videos because they're subscribed to the channel, and then they all of a sudden they comment how they're, you know, tired or feel some type of way about me asking them to use my affiliate link. And I explained to them, like, I said that, what I just said to you guys, but I also said, like, I'm not forcing you. It's just an ask. You don't have to do it, right? None of you guys have to at all. I appreciate you guys being here, just watching the videos, right? But the reality is, if I'm making any type of impact in your business, and if I'm helping you guys in any type of way, and I think this is valuable because I'm trying to be creative and show you guys stuff that'll really help your business, right? But in return, I'm just asking that in the event that you were to purchase one of these items, instead of going directly to the website, use my link to buy something that you were going to buy anyway and have to pay nothing extra for it. That's how simple it is. But yet and still, the person still took issue with me asking that. And I thought that was like insane. It's like it makes no sense. Like, you're here all the time watching the videos, but you have an issue with me asking you to do something that costs you zero. So, all right, guys, I hope this video was helpful. I just want to show you guys what I went through yesterday and what I did to overcome the obstacle, and what you can do, and to give you some, guys, ideas of what you can do. There's a lot of other options on these 3 websites. Hoop Tech, along with Midwest Products. And shout out to Midwest Products. They redid their whole website. I like what they did to it. I'm not sure if you guys saw that, but they actually redid their whole website. It looks pretty cool. Because their website, they had 2 separate websites, first of all. And now they redid everything, and everything, I think, it's on one website, and it looks really nice. It looks really nice. And they have everything labeled out so you can, you know, click on your machine. So I think that's dope. What's going on, Crafty Puerto Rican? How are you? But yeah, and Hoop Tech. What I like about both these companies is the way they make their stuff. They're not really each other's competition that much because their items function differently. They don't like step on each other's toes. If you look at the Hoop Tech products and the Mighty Hoop products, ultimately they do similar things, but in different ways, if that makes sense for you guys. Does that make sense? They do similar things, but in different ways. So shout out to both those companies. Very, very creative individuals that came up with these ideas. And shout out to Racoma, because that 8-in-1 does come in handy, and the robot frame does come in handy, whereas though some of these items just wouldn't work, right? So everything has a place, and there's a place for everything, and these are all tools that we can use so we don't have to tell a customer no. All right, so in the long run, what might seem like an expensive investment, which it is, right, is not that expensive over time as you tell your clients yes, 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 and you keep on taking that business. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. I gotta head over to the studio because I got people calling me and they want their stuff and they want to come, you know, get advice and stuff. I gotta get to the studio. I got 50 DTFs to do. I got somebody to pick up their order of DTFs, and I got a bunch of other stuff to do. So I'll talk to you guys on the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for all your advice. You really helped me in my embroidery adventure. No problem, Rav. Like I said, I've said it before, I know what this industry has done for me, so I just try to pay it forward by giving you guys advice. And I'm always going to ask you, use my affiliate link down in the description, down below, whenever you're about to buy something. Costs you nothing. All right, so talk to you guys later. Peace.